Welcome back to Who Died Today USA channel. In the past few days, we have received somber news about the passing of extraordinary talents. Today's episode is dedicated to honoring their memory. Additionally, we will recap the stars we have recently lost. Before we begin, we kindly ask for your support. If this video or the legacies of these remarkable individuals have touched your life, please consider giving this video a thumbs up as a sign of respect and remembrance. Thank you. Cora Sue Collins was born on April 19, 1927, in Beckley, West Virginia, and by age 4, she was already gracing the silver screen in The Unexpected Father. Over the next decade, she appeared in nearly 50 films, often portraying the youthful versions of Hollywood icons like Greta Garbo, Claudette Colbert, Norma Shearer, and Myrna Loy. Garbo herself took Collins under her wing twice, casting her in Queen Christina and Anna Karenina, a rare honor that marked her as a true child star. Yet behind the glitz and glamour, Cora Sue's early years in Hollywood were filled with loneliness, long hours, and adult pressures far beyond her age. Though admired in costume fittings and on set, she found the experience isolating, and by 1945, at just 18, she courageously chose to step away from the industry. She walked away from fame to protect her heart and reclaim her youth. Away from the spotlight, Collins built a life rooted in love, family, and quiet joy. She married 3 times and became a devoted mother to 3 children. She pursued her passions, from competitive water skiing to building a welcoming home in Phoenix and later Paris. Surrounded by family and friends, she even hosted famed guests like Liberace. She found fulfillment not in applause, but in laughter around the dinner table, bedtime stories, and shared memories. She often reflected that anonymity and motherhood gave her a sense of peace Hollywood never could. On April 27, 2025, Cora Sue Collins passed away at her Beverly Hills home from complications after a stroke. She was 98 years old. She leaves behind a daughter, a son, a stepdaughter, 5 grandchildren, and 5 great-grandchildren, each of whom will carry forward her warm spirit and humble grace. Her journey, from child actress embraced by legends to brave young woman stepping away to cherished matriarch, speaks to resilience, self-respect, and the quiet heroism of choosing one's own path. Cora Sue Collins didn't just shine on screen. She chose a life illuminated by integrity, love, and purpose. That legacy, quietly powerful, will long resonate in the hearts of those who knew her, and in the story she such beautifully shaped. Dennis Arndt was born on February 23, 1939, near Seattle, Washington, a childhood rooted in the Pacific Northwest and framed by a family that valued courage and integrity. He grew up learning discipline and compassion, qualities that would carry him through a life of service, art, and inspiration. After high school, he enlisted in the Army and became a helicopter pilot in Vietnam, earning 2 Purple Hearts and a commendation for bravery. Those skies shaped his soul and planted the seeds of courage that would later take center stage. Following his return, Dennis earned scholarships at the University of Washington and even flew helicopters in Alaska. But theater called. In the early 1970s, he joined Seattle's vibrant acting community, co-founding the Intiman Theater and spending decades performing with the Oregon Shakespeare Festival in leading roles such as King Lear, Prospero, and Othello. His commanding presence on stage reflected a lifetime of exploration of both the world and the human spirit. While Dennis graced regional theaters for over 4 decades, television found him in the late 1980s. Audiences recognized him on acclaimed series like L.A. Law, Picket Fences, The Practice, and Grey's Anatomy, where his quiet wisdom and empathy shone through characters who often carried more than just dialogue. On film, he delivered memorable supporting moments, including a subtle interrogation scene in Basic Instinct. Yet Dennis's most extraordinary breakthrough came late and beautifully. At age 77, he stepped onto Broadway in Simon Stevens' two-person play Heisenberg, starring opposite Mary Louise Parker. Critics hailed their chemistry as irresistible, celebrating this tender romance between a reserved septuagenarian and a spontaneous young woman. The performance earned Dennis his first Tony nomination, a testament to a lifetime of preparation meeting a moment of pure magic. Dennis passed away on March 25, 2025, in his Ashland, Oregon home at 86. Although the cause wasn't confirmed, his wife Majee and 7 children mourned a man who lived fully, on battlefields, in rehearsal halls, and in the hearts of anyone who saw him perform. Facing illness and age with the same grace that defined his life, he personified resilience, passion, and heartfelt storytelling. Dennis Arndt's legacy is one of constant reinvention, from soldier to Shakespearean, from television character to Broadway revelation. In every role, he brought warmth, dignity, and humanity. For anyone who believed it too late to discover their true calling, his example proves otherwise. His light will continue to inspire actors, veterans, and dreamers of every age. Melba Montgomery was born on October 14, 1938, in Iron City, Tennessee, and raised in Florence, Alabama, a childhood steeped in close-knit family dances and the rich traditions of Appalachian music. From singing in church with her brothers to mastering the banjo and guitar, Melba's roots laid the foundation for a remarkable musical journey. At age 20, she captivated audiences in a Nashville talent contest judged by Roy Acuff, leading to a tour with his review. But it was the moment that changed everything. When George Jones heard her voice in 1963 and invited her to record duets for United Artists. Their first single, We Must Have Been Out of Our Minds, written by Melba, soared to number 3 on the country charts and set the tone for a decade of harmony-rich hits like Let's Invite Them Over and What's in Our Heart. Jones later described her as a down-to-earth, hardcore country singer, and together they helped make duets a staple of the genre. Still, the spotlight didn't dim Melba's own light. In 1974, she topped the charts with No Charge, a moving tribute to motherhood. Hits like Angel of the Morning and Don't Let the Good Times Fool You solidified her presence as a solo artist. Yet she remained a sought-after duet partner, collaborating with Gene Pitney and Charlie Louvin, and influencing stars like Patti Loveless and George Strait, the latter finding success with Melba's song, What Do You Say to That? Throughout the 1990s and beyond, Melba focused on songwriting, crafting enduring hits for country legends, and releasing her final album, Things That Keep You Going, in 2010. She retired from performing in 2015, following the loss of her husband of 46 years, Jack Solomon, but continued writing from her beloved Nashville home. On January 15, 2025, after a long battle with dementia, Melba passed away at age 86. Her daughter shared that Melba was an incredibly talented, kind, and generous woman, and that she had reunited in spirit with her husband. Though she faced the difficulties dementia brought, her voice, both literal and lyrical, remained clear and resonant. Melba Montgomery's legacy is one of deep emotion, authentic storytelling, and those unforgettable harmonies that touched hearts across generations. Her work shaped country music's duet tradition, and her solos spoke the universal truths of love, family, and resilience. Fans who hear a heartfelt duet today will hear her influence and feel the warmth of a voice that will always belong to country music's greatest moments. Larry Tamblyn, the energetic keyboardist and co-founder of the garage rock legends the Standells, was born in Los Angeles on April 14, 1942. The younger brother of actor Russ Tamblyn and uncle to actress Amber Tamblyn, he charted his own course, one defined by passion, creativity, and an enduring musical spirit. In 1962, Larry joined forces with Tony Valentino and Jody Rich to form what would become the Standells. He coined the name during long waits for gigs. We were always standing around, so we became the Standells. As the band's musical engine, Tamblyn helped shape their raw, gritty sound that resonated with listeners everywhere. While drummer Dick Dodd delivered vocals on their iconic 1965 hit, Dirty Water, Larry's keyboard riff and stage energy became inseparable from the song's charm. Slider to number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1966, the song became a Boston anthem, blaring through Fenway Park whenever the Red Sox triumphed, and earned a place among the 500 songs that shaped rock and roll. Critics called it the sound of an era, and in 2004, the band returned to perform it live at the World Series, a testament to its impact. Beyond their anthem, the Standells released cult favorites like Sometimes Good Guys Don't Wear White and made quirky appearances on the Munsters and in 60s-era films. Tamblyn's creative spark also fueled his solo career and a successful 2009 revival of the band, culminating in the album Bump in 2013 and his induction into the California Music Hall of Fame. On March 21, 2025, Larry passed away at the age of 82. Though the cause was not disclosed, fans and family remember him as a lively spirit who never stopped making music. He leaves behind his brother Russ, daughters, and an entire generation of garage rock enthusiasts who continue to play his songs. Larry Tamblyn wasn't just a musician, he was a pioneer. He showed us that with a few chords, an open heart, and unrelenting energy, a song can become a cultural landmark. Every time Dirty Water fills a stadium, we hear Larry's bright keys and feel his abiding legacy. Mike Patrick, the warm and steady voice of ESPN for over 3 decades, was born on May 14, 1944, in Clarksburg, West Virginia. From his earliest days calling games on local radio to rising through collegiate sports ranks, he possessed an unwavering passion that helped shape and define sports broadcasting for a generation. In 1982, Patrick joined ESPN and quickly became the trusted play-by-play announcer for college football and basketball. His steady tone and insightful commentary made him the voice of countless ACC battles and Women's Final Four matchups, earning him heartfelt respect from coaches, players, and fans alike. But in 1987, he entered a larger spotlight. Mike became ESPN's original Sunday Night Football commentator, a role he held for 18 seasons. With every kickoff, every touchdown, he brought clarity, gravity, and a sense of community to living rooms across America. He didn't just call plays, he connected with them. From the roar of college arenas to the strategy unfolding under stadium lights, Patrick conveyed not only scores, but moments, stories of triumph, heartbreak, and grit. His boy-next-door presence alongside legends like Dick Vitale and Joe Theismann made Monday nights feel welcoming and profound, marking him as one of ESPN's most enduring and beloved voices. Though he found incredible success, Patrick's journey wasn't free of challenge. He worked his way up from small-town stations, learning the game of sports broadcasting and life with each step. He balanced family and ambition, stayed grounded amid sudden fame, and remained true to the integrity of his craft. When he called his final game, the Liberty Bowl in 2017, it was a moment both triumphant and sweetly quiet, a full-circle moment for a man who had done exactly what I wanted to do with my life. On April 20th, 2025, following a lifetime of waking up early, tuning in wire feeds, and greeting millions with his voice, Mike Patrick passed peacefully at his home in Fairfax, Virginia, at the age of 80. Despite physical ailments common to age, he remained sharp, thoughtful, and gracious to the end. Mike leaves behind his wife, 2 children, and a legacy woven through Friday nights, March Madness, and Navy Yellow Jackets games alike. When we hear a whistle on game day, we will remember his gentle baritone reminding us, This is more than a game. It's part of our shared story. In every replay, every comeback, and every arena echo, Mike Patrick's voice remains with us. Mitzi McCall, the trailblazing comedian, actress, and sitcom writer, was born on September 9, 1930, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. From her earliest days, her vibrant presence lit up any room, whether on stage at the Pittsburgh Playhouse or hosting kiddie TV in the early 1950s. She brought a sparkle and creativity that hinted at a lifelong journey in entertainment. Her partnership with husband Charlie Brill blossomed into the beloved comedy duo McCall and Brill, whose charm and timing delighted audiences for decades. They became television staples, appearing on variety classics like The Ed Sullivan Show, famously sharing the stage with the Beatles, Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, and Match Game. Their witty sketches, often exploring the dynamics of married life, captured hearts with warmth and humor. Mitzi's versatility extended far beyond live comedy. She lent her voice to beloved animated series, The Flintstones, The Jetsons, Snorks, and even Ice Age. On screen, she brought memorable roles to shows like Seinfeld, Roseanne, Dharma and Greg, and The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. As a writer, her sharp comedic touch shaped episodes of 8 is Enough, One Day at a Time, Alf and Charles in Charge. Behind the scenes, she served as a mentor, generous, encouraging, and faithfully guiding the next generation of performers. On August 8, 2024, at the age of 93, Mitzi passed away peacefully in Burbank, California. Though the details of her passing were private, her life's work speaks volumes. 7 decades of laughter, creativity, resilience, and authenticity. Survived by Charlie, their daughter Jenny, nieces Tony and Wendy, and goddaughters Melissa and Sarah Gilbert, Mitzi's legacy reaches far beyond any single performance. In her work and presence, she showed us that humor could heal, friendship could endure, and shared stories could foster connection. Mitzi McCall reminded us that comedy is not just about jokes, it's about heart. She made us laugh, think, and remember that lifelong friendship and honest storytelling are gifts to be treasured. In her warmth and wit, she leaves a legacy that will continue to uplift and inspire for generations to come. John Brenkus, the visionary creator and charismatic host of the Emmy-winning series Sports Science, was born on June 25, 1970. From an early age, he carried a love for both athletics and analytics, an unusual pairing that would eventually become his trademark. In 2007, John brought this passion to life on screen. On Sports Science, he and his team used cutting-edge technology to explain sports phenomena, from the sheer force of an NFL tackle to the precision behind Steph Curry's shot. The show earned 6 Emmys and became a cornerstone of sports entertainment, engaging fans by blending scientific curiosity with real-world athletic achievement. John wasn't just a host, he was a storyteller and educator. With warmth, enthusiasm, and catchphrases like Brenkus's Law, he turned complex biomechanics into moments of wonder. His ability to translate velocity, momentum, and gravity into conversations around dining tables and sports bars across America created a legacy both entertaining and enlightening. Behind the scenes, however, John fought a quiet daily battle with depression. In interviews, he bravely shared how dark days nearly overwhelmed him, until a small moment of companionship from his dog helped pull him back. He sought help from multiple therapists and psychiatrists, urging others to seek the same. His openness turned personal struggle into an inspiration. If someone like him could reach out, so could anyone else. On May 31, 2025, John lost his battle with depression at the age of 54. His family and friends ask for privacy during this difficult time, but also encourage anyone facing similar struggles to reach out for help. John is survived by his wife, children, and countless fans who learned that science can deepen our appreciation for sport and for life itself. His legacy is vibrant, a testament to curiosity, courage, and the power of sharing your story. He showed us that true strength lies not only in muscles or medals, but in vulnerability, connection, and hope. Chris Robinson, the beloved actor best known as Dr. Rick Weber on General Hospital, was born on November 5, 1938, in West Palm Beach, Florida. He began his entertainment journey in the late 1950s, taking on uncredited film roles and doing stunt work before landing guest spots on shows like Gunsmoke, Combat, and Perry Mason. These early roles showcased his dedication and versatility, setting the stage for a lifelong career. In 1978, Chris found his defining role when he joined General Hospital as Dr. Rick Weber, a key member of the iconic Luke and Laura love triangle. His portrayal captured the hearts of viewers, and his presence left an indelible mark on daytime television. A memorable moment from 1985 saw him become the face and voice of Vicks Formula 44, delivering the unforgettable line, "I'm not a doctor, but I do play one on TV." This brought unexpected fame, though his spokesperson role later ended under legal strain. After leaving General Hospital in 1986, Chris continued his soap legacy with a powerful stint on The Bold and the Beautiful, where he portrayed Jack Hamilton for 3 years. In a heartfelt reunion in 2002, he returned to General Hospital to walk Laura down the aisle once more. His character's dramatic storyline, reviving past romance and hidden truths, reminded fans of the emotional depth that made his work resonate. Beyond soap operas, Chris appeared in over 100 film and television projects, demonstrating his enduring passion for storytelling. From his early stunt work to his final role in the 2022 film Just for a Week, he remained a constant presence on screen. In recent years, Chris faced health challenges. He lived with heart failure for some time, bravely managing this condition while continuing to cherish life at his home near Sedona, Arizona. Surrounded by his wife of 14 years, Jackie, his sons, Shane, Kobe, Christian, Taylor, Christopher, Lance, and Rob, and his grandchildren, Ivy, Ava, Davy, Brooks, and Knox, Chris passed peacefully in his sleep on June 9, 2025, at the age of 86. Chris Robinson's legacy lives on in the love he inspired, among co-stars, viewers, and family. His warmth, talent, and resilience remind us of the power of connection, between characters and audience, between past and present, and within every heart he reached. Gena Rowlands, the radiant icon of American independent cinema, was born on June 19, 1930, in Madison, Wisconsin. She pursued acting in New York, where she met her future husband, John Cassavetes, and soon became his muse, together shaping new frontiers in film with their raw, emotional honesty. Throughout the 1960s and 70s, Gena brought unforgettable characters to life. In Faces, she embodied a complex, fractured soul. In A Woman Under the Influence, 1974, she delivered a haunting performance as a woman at the edge of her emotional world, earning her first Oscar nomination. In Gloria, 1980, she played a tough, resilient protector whose strength lit up the screen and earned her a second nomination. Beyond those iconic roles, Gena starred in Opening Night, Love Streams, and Night on Earth, always bringing warmth, wit, and fierce authenticity. She won 3 Emmy Awards for outstanding performances in television films like Early Frost and The Betty Ford Story. Even in The Notebook, 2004, directed by her son Nick, she conveyed quiet dignity as a grandmother living with Alzheimer's, reminding us that life's deepest truths often lie in everyday moments. Her courage extended beyond her art. In her later years, she faced Alzheimer's with grace, surrounded by family and supported by her 2 sons. Though the disease quietly dimmed her brilliance, it could not dim the light of her spirit. Gina left us at age 94, at her home in Indian Wells, California, embraced by loved ones. She lived a life defined not by glamour, but by deep emotional honesty, a legacy of gentle strength, real love, and fearless vulnerability. She is remembered by her sons, filmmakers Nick and Zoe, and daughter Zan, and by generations of audiences who found in Gina's work a reflection of their own struggles and triumphs. Above all, Gina Rowlands showed us how to live many lives, all of them rich with emotion, truth, and the timeless beauty of being human. Val Kilmer, the unforgettable actor whose presence lit up screens across genres, was born on December 31, 1959, in Los Angeles. A graduate of the prestigious Juilliard School, he brought depth, charisma, and an unpredictable spark to every role he played. His breakout came in 1986 with Top Gun, where his portrayal of the confident Iceman opposite Tom Cruise propelled him into pop culture fame. In 1991, Kilmer took on the role of Jim Morrison in Oliver Stone's The Doors, delivering a haunting, immersive performance. He followed that with a brilliant turn as Doc Holliday in Tombstone, 1993, capturing the character's sharp intellect and tragic charm. In 1995, he donned the cape as Batman in Batman Forever, a defining moment that earned him both acclaim and scrutiny. Beyond blockbusters, Kilmer embraced diverse roles, from the tense heist ensemble in Heat to lending his voice as Moses in The Prince of Egypt, portraying Philip of Macedon in Alexander, and captivating audiences with his autobiographical one-man show, Citizen Twain. Despite his talent, Kilmer was often described as mercurial, known for his creative genius as much as for being fiercely independent. His collaborators noted that he could be difficult, but those who truly understood him saw a man of rare artistic integrity. In 2014, he confronted a serious challenge, a diagnosis of throat cancer. After a grueling treatment journey, he emerged cancer-free, though deeply changed by the experience. His voice and breathing bore the marks of that battle, but he carried on with courage and quiet determination. On April 1, 2025, at the age of 65, Kilmer passed away in Los Angeles due to pneumonia, with his daughter Mercedes noting that his earlier cancer and ongoing health struggles played a role. Val Kilmer's legacy is defined not just by his iconic roles, but by his willingness to take risks and pour himself into his work. In his 2020 memoir, I'm Your Huckleberry, and the 2021 documentary Val, he shared his life's triumphs and trials with honesty and wit. He is survived by his children, Mercedes and Jack, and he leaves behind a body of work that continues to move, challenge, and inspire. Val reminded us that true artistry lies in daring to be yourself, flaws, passions, and all. Ananda Lewis, the vibrant and trailblazing MTV VJ and talk show host, was born on March 21, 1973, in Los Angeles. From volunteering in school plays to graduating from Howard University in 1995, Ananda carried a passion for youth empowerment and truth-telling that would shape her career and inspire a generation. Her breakout moment came in 1997 when she joined MTV, becoming a host on Total Request Live and Hot Zone. By 1999, the New York Times had called her the hip-hop generation's reigning it girl, recognizing not just her charm, but her bold, authentic presence. Ananda used her platform to spotlight heavy issues, from school violence to the tragic loss of her dear friend Aaliyah, showing that a VJ could also be a voice of truth and compassion. In 2001, she launched The Ananda Lewis Show, marking a new chapter in her career. Though it ran only one season, it was a testament to her courage in stepping into a challenging new role. She later found fulfillment as a correspondent on The Insider, hosted shows like America's Top Dog and While You Were Out, and even became a skilled carpenter, proving her versatility and grit. Behind her warm smile, Ananda faced profound personal challenges. She learned in 2018 that she had stage 3 breast cancer, which she shared in 2020, urging women to get regular screenings, a message born from regret over her own hesitations. Though she chose alternative approaches early on and later expressed uncertainty about those decisions, her story became a powerful call for awareness and prevention. By 2023, her cancer had progressed to stage 4. She spent her final days surrounded by loved ones at her Los Angeles home and passed on June 11, 2025, at age 52, as her sister noted, "She's free and in his heavenly arms." Ananda leaves behind her teenage son Langston and a legacy of authenticity, fearlessness, and advocacy. Her impact resonates wherever honesty meets heart, on MTV's stages, in late-night conversations, and in quiet moments of reflection. She showed us it's possible to live boldly, love fiercely, and speak truth with grace. Though her time with us ended too soon, Ananda's spirit lives on in every young voice she lifted and every story she helped tell, forever a shining example of what it means to be real. Breaking news! Imagine the collision of star power and heartfelt vulnerability, an actor whose camera-ready charisma masked fierce ambition and unspoken battles. Leonardo DiCaprio, one of Hollywood's most captivating figures, has spent decades winning hearts with unforgettable performances. But behind the charm and red carpets lies a journey shaped by deep personal resilience, emotional challenges, and unwavering integrity. Today, we pull back the curtain to reveal the raw and inspiring story of his health, career, and unbreakable spirit. How far would you go to stay grounded while ascending beyond anyone's expectations? Share your thoughts in the comments below as we explore the hidden chapters of Leonardo's life, his dedication to his craft, and the strength that defines his legacy. Born on November 11, 1974, in Los Angeles, Leonardo DiCaprio came into the world amid the glitter of Hollywood, though his upbringing stood in stark contrast. Raised by his single mother in modest neighborhoods far from fame, he discovered early on that nothing comes without effort. He used his earnings from part-time work to buy headshots, attending hundreds of auditions, facing more than 100 rejections before finally gaining traction. That first spark of hope came in 1993 from What Is Eating Gilbert Grape, where he portrayed Arnie Grape, a teenager with a developmental disability. His nuanced, deeply emotional performance earned a nomination for an Academy Award at just 19. The world began to see not just a young actor, but someone with extraordinary talent and empathy. The turning point came in 1997 with Titanic, when DiCaprio embodied Jack Dawson, the lovable drifter whose romance with Rose resonated across the globe. The film grossed more than $2 billion, and overnight, he transformed into a cultural icon. The world fell for his smile, his energy, his boyish sincerity. Yet this massive success came with its own weight. The risk of being labeled simply a handsome lead, typecast as young and charming. The choice he faced was clear: stay in that safe space, or venture into unknown artistic territory. Rather than rest on the accolades and broad appeal, Leonardo chose to reinvent himself. He founded Appian Way Productions and began selecting roles that challenged both his range and his image. In The Aviator, 2004, he immersed himself in the character of Howard Hughes, an obsessive genius consumed by innovation and tormented by inner demons. The role demanded exacting precision and emotional depth, prompting him to explore Hughes's mannerisms, compulsions, and psychological battles. The performance was critically celebrated and also illuminated Leo's own lifelong struggle with obsessive-compulsive disorder, a condition he had quietly navigated since childhood. Over the years, he continued to defy expectations through projects like Gangs of New York, Inception, Django Unchained, and The Wolf of Wall Street. These roles marked his refusal to be confined to a single image. They were complex, morally ambiguous, and often uncomfortable. He seemed to thrive in spaces where others might fear to go. That relentless drive led to The Revenant in 2015, arguably the most grueling role of his career. Portraying fur trapper Hugh Glass in an unforgiving wilderness, Leonardo lived the suffering he would portray. He strode through sub-zero rivers, endured punishing cold, slept inside animal carcasses, and even ate raw liver to capture the film's brutal reality. His answer to censors who worried for his safety was simple. Only the truth of the story mattered. And when he won the Academy Award for Best Actor in 2016, it felt less like validation of fame and more like acknowledgement of a journey forged through fire, snow, and tears. But while the world watched him conquer physical extremes, Leonardo continued to wage a subtler private battle with mental health. His obsessive-compulsive tendencies manifested in rituals like avoiding cracks or repeating steps until they felt right. He has shared how he quieted those spirals with an inner mantra: "It is simply not worth it." He never advertised himself as a spokesperson for mental wellness, but the quiet strategies he embraced, mindful breathing, vigorous exercise, moments away from the spotlight, revealed a man deeply attuned to his own fragility. He found solace in nature, escaping cameras to reset in forests, mountains, or on long flights with nothing but a book. Working across tight schedules and intense roles demanded emotional endurance. The pressure of cameras, critics, and self-expectation could be crushing, but he refused the comforts of stardom. He circled back to introspection, rebuilding characters from scratch, and collaborating with directors known for extracting raw humanity: Martin Scorsese, Quentin Tarantino, Alejandro González Iñárritu. They were not merely directors, they were co-conspirators in his quest for authenticity. Each time he emerged from a complicated shoot, whether surviving near-fatal moments on harsh terrain or navigating morally gray characters, he emerged stronger, more centered, more invested, more present. Even as his career soared, Leonardo never lost sight of the world beyond the screen. He used his stature to become a vocal advocate for environmental preservation. Through his production company, he supported documentaries about climate change, indigenous voices, and wildlife conservation. Every public speech and acceptance address echoed the same urgent message: the planet's fragility demands attention now. In his own life, he matched words with actions: philanthropy, funding, campaigning, standards he held himself to more stringently than any film role. In recent years, he continued to push boundaries with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where he stepped into the persona of a fading star in the 1960s. Don't Look Up, a biting satire of inaction in the face of disaster, and Killers of the Flower Moon, a dark exploration of greed and injustice, all while collaborating with some of the finest directors in the world. Each film reflected his evolution, not just as a box office powerhouse, but as a storyteller unafraid to hold up a mirror to society. At 50 years of age, Leonardo does not live on the sheen of youthful stardom. He stands as evidence that, to stand the test of time, one must nurture inner fortitude and humility. He remains engaged, whether he speaks at summits, addresses the United Nations, or quietly supports scientists and activists. He stands as proof that brilliance requires both fierce passion and tender care. What can we learn from his ongoing story? Ambition need not be hollow. Public applause can coexist with private struggle. Resilience nurtures authenticity, and raising the bar for mental and emotional care is not optional, it is vital. Leonardo's mindfulness, his mountain retreats, his open acknowledgement that emotional fitness matters. These remind us that caring for ourselves is not weakness, but essential strength. Leonardo DiCaprio invites us to ask ourselves, what burdens lie beneath our own exterior? What battles do we fight alone? His transformation from teenage icon to complex artisan is no mere career trajectory. It is a chronicle of self-discovery, of mettle and compassion, survival and reinvention. Each time he steps into a role, we do not just witness art, we witness a soul marked by history reaching for honesty. If this story moves you by its raw emotion, its artistic bravery, its silent lessons on mental tenacity, share with us. Let us build a corner of reflection in the comments, celebrating not only triumph, but tenacity, compassion, and the quiet power of perseverance. Tell us your favorite Leonardo performance, or how you have found your way through private darkness to emerge with truth intact. If this article resonated, you are invited to like, subscribe, and stand with us as we shine a light on the humanity behind the legend. Join us next time as we dive into other lives defined by resilience, creativity, and emotion. Leonardo DiCaprio remains a living testament to transformation, the belief that to shine brightly in the world, we must first navigate the shadows within. His legacy is more than a collection of roles. It is a blueprint for living with integrity, curiosity, and unyielding heart. As the cameras dim and the crowds disperse, that is where his greatest performance continues. In the quiet courtroom of the soul, where courage and care endure long after the final scene fades. Betsy Gay's life was a tapestry woven with music, laughter, and silver screen magic. Born with a natural spark and a gift for performance, she stepped into Hollywood's spotlight at the age of 6, becoming a cherished member of the beloved Our Gang comedies, later known as the Little Rascals. From 1935 to 1938, she appeared in several episodes, winning the hearts of audiences as Effie, the sweet and spirited girlfriend of Alfalfa. Her early years in film included roles in Tom Sawyer, A Day at the Races, and Mystery Plane, helping define an era of American childhood on screen. But it was in 1941, after an unexpected turn in a Columbia Pictures short, that Betsy discovered a new talent, yodeling. What began as a scene became a passion, and soon a signature. She mastered the craft with joy and discipline, earning back-to-back wins at the California State Yodeling Championship in 1945 and 1946. Throughout the 1940s and 50s, Betsy became a beloved voice on radio and television, sharing stages with legendary names such as Johnny Cash and the Everly Brothers. From live performances to recorded tracks with Capitol and Decca Records, her career flourished. Her song, Belle of the Old Barn Dance, remains a treasured relic of Western Americana. Behind the scenes, Betsy was a devoted wife to Thomas Cashin and mother to 5 children. She brought the same warmth and charm to her family that she gave to every audience. Her love for the arts never waned, and she continued performing into her later years, including an appearance at the final Little Rascals reunion in 2014. On June 13, 2025, Betsy passed peacefully in Bakersfield, California, surrounded by love. Her friend Robert Satterfield confirmed the news, remembering her as a joyful, graceful presence who will be deeply missed. Betsy Gay leaves behind a legacy of light, one filled with melody, innocence, and the enduring power of a little girl who yodeled her way into America's heart. David Hakili Kenui Bell, a beloved actor, voice artist, and community ambassador, brought joy and authenticity to every role he touched. Born and raised in Hawaii, David's roots ran deep in the island's culture and spirit. From his early days attending Punahou and Kalani High School, to greeting travelers with warmth over the PA system at Kona International Airport, he lived a life grounded in aloha. Though he balanced multiple careers, including his role as assistant superintendent at Ellison Onizuka Kona International Airport, David always nurtured a passion for performance. That passion bloomed into a quiet but meaningful presence in the entertainment world. Audiences may best remember him for his recent role as the Big Hawaiian Dude in Disney's 2025 live-action remake of Lilo and Stitch, a light-hearted character whose charm and timing brought smiles to theater-goers across generations. He also appeared in popular television series including Hawaii 5-0 and Magnum P.I., showcasing his versatility and grounding every scene with sincerity. Behind the camera, David faced the challenges of maintaining a creative career while working full-time, all while representing his heritage with pride. With a unique ability to speak English, Hawaiian, and Pidgin, he offered a voice, literally and figuratively, for local culture in a global industry. His path was never simple, but his spirit never wavered. On June 15, 2025, David's family shared that he had passed unexpectedly from natural causes. His sister, Jaylene Kanani Bell, remembered him as a radiant, generous soul who gave unconditional love and embodied the very essence of aloha. David's legacy endures not only through his performances, but in the lives he touched, with laughter, kindness, and a steadfast love for his homeland. For those who heard his voice in airports or saw his smile on screen, David Hekili Kanui Bell remains a shining part of Hawaii's story and its heart. Breaking news. Dick Van Dyke, at 99 years old, he still radiates a boundless energy that defies time. This man, whose smile still lights up rooms and whose voice still carries the weight of decades, is more than a legendary entertainer. He is a living testament to resilience, reinvention, and the enduring power of hope. As we journey through his life, his triumphs, trials, and the quiet battles that shaped him, we uncover a story rich with heart, humor, and hard-won wisdom. How does one stay vibrant and joyful with nearly a century behind them? Join this exploration of Dick Van Dyke's life and discover what keeps him dancing, singing, and inspiring to this day. Born Richard Wayne Van Dyke on December 13, 1925, in the small town of West Plains, Missouri, he was the first of Hazel and Lauren Van Dyke's 2 sons. Money was tight during those early years, amid the shadows of the Great Depression and then the turbulence of World War II. Yet young Dick's exuberant spirit emerged in church choirs, school plays, and makeshift performances for local audiences. Even as a teenager, he possessed a natural charm and sense of timing that hinted at something special. At 19, Dick made a significant decision. He left Danville High School and enlisted in the Army Air Forces in 1944. He spent those years entertaining service members, singing, dancing, joking, honing skills that would carry him through a lifetime. After his discharge in 1946, he moved to New York with little more than drive and an unshakable belief in his talent. Broadway greeted him with open arms. A 1959 role in The Girls Against the Boys paved the way for his breakthrough turn as Albert Peterson in Bye Bye Birdie, a performance that earned him the prestigious Tony Award in 1961. That same year, a television phenomenon burst onto screens, The Dick Van Dyke Show, in which he starred as Rob Petrie, the lovable comedy writer navigating life with his wife Laura, played by Mary Tyler Moore. The series, infused with mischievous charm and heartfelt moments, brought Van Dyke 3 Emmy Awards and secured his place in television history. During those golden years, laughter masked inner storms. Van Dyke was plagued by shyness and self-doubt, and he turned to alcohol in his 20s as a social crutch. He bravely admitted later that it was a shortest route to confidence in his early career. By the early 1970s, this reliance began eroding his personal life, affecting his marriage to Margie Willett and taking a toll on his health. He entered rehab in 1972, an act of courage that saved his life but did not erase the struggle. The path to sobriety was long and uneven. A watershed moment came in 1985 when he fully embraced his responsibility to himself and to others. "My body did what my mind could not." It said, "Enough." This transformation was deeply personal, but had far-reaching professional consequences. Having mastered the world of comedy, Dick sought deeper stories. He stepped into cinematic roles that showcased his talent in new light. In Mary Poppins, 1964, He charmed audiences as Chimney Sweep Bert and the stern bank chairman, Mr. Dawes Sr. His performance earned a Grammy, confirming his versatility as both actor and singer. Then came Chitty Chitty Bang Bang in 1968, a film brimming with imagination and whimsy, fitting for a performer who made magic seem effortless. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, he continued to dabble in television and film, alternating between leads and guest spots, always sparking with warmth and vitality. One of the most moving moments came with The Morning After in 1974. In this gritty TV drama, Van Dyke played a man haunted by his demons, paralleling his own struggles with alcohol. His honest portrayal earned him an Emmy nomination, and more importantly, served as a mirror. It forced him to confront his own reality and reckon with the person he wanted to become. As Dick stepped into sobriety, his personal life shifted too. He divorced Margie in 1984 and soon fell into a long-term relationship with Michelle Triola. Though they never married, their partnership carried him through phases of healing and reinvention. And in 2012, at age 86, he found renewed joy with makeup artist Arlene Silver. Their marriage later that year brought fresh energy into his life and a disciplined focus on health. Arlene championed a vibrant approach to aging, one fueled by movement. She encouraged him to go to the gym 3 times a week, lifting light weights, stretching, swimming, dancing. He credits this routine with preserving his strength into his late 90s, often calling it his secret weapon. The simple message? Movement is not optional. It is essential, especially as years stack up. Still, life presented new challenges. Around 2013, Van Dyke began to experience a strange sensation, his head pounding when he lay down. The onset of this discomfort caused him to postpone public appearances, prompting concern among fans. But true to form, Dick investigated the issue and found the culprit in his dental work, titanium implants. He adjusted, continued onward, and never let the setback dampen his spirit. Even as he approached 100, Van Dyke continued achieving new heights. In 2018, he reprised his role in Mary Poppins Returns, delighting audiences with a nostalgic charm that felt both familiar and fresh. In 2023, he captivated viewers on The Masked Singer, performing Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious with the same spark that defined his early career. Though he was the oldest contestant ever, he received a standing ovation that echoed his lifelong gift for joy. A televised special celebrating his 98 years drew viewers into his world, heartfelt reflections, old clips, and a sense that every year has added wisdom, not weight. In 2024, he made a surprise appearance in Coldplay's music video, All My Love, a collaboration bridging past and present, reminding us that artistry knows no expiration date. His accolades reflect his range and staying power. 6 Emmy Awards, a Tony, a Grammy, induction into the Television Hall of Fame, Disney Legend status, the Screen Actors Guild Life Achievement Award, and Kennedy Center honors. Each accolade marks a chapter, but none define the man himself, a man who loved laughter and lived honesty. Even in aging, Van Dyke refused to quiet his curiosity. He explored new tools like ukulele and barbershop singing. He thanked his predecessors, once calling Stan Laurel to share his admiration, and he spoke out on social causes close to heart. Above all, he made a point of listening, to children, to elders, to those with stories to tell. He did not pretend that age was harmless. He acknowledged the bittersweet sorrow of outliving close friends, Carl Reiner, Ed Asner, and others. His wife Arlene referred to it as a curse, and yet Dick bore it with sincerity, recognizing grief but not letting it define the moment. He talked and acted with gratitude. "Life has been good," he once said. "I will not pretend otherwise, but I will move on." He taught a generation to dance, to laugh, to dare. But he also taught something deeper, that our struggles do not have to be silent, and our vulnerabilities do not diminish our legacy. They deepen it. From alcohol dependence to physical strain, from heartbreak to headaches, he confronted everything with the same grace that powered his on-screen presence. What springs from his story is not just admiration, but aspiration. Creativity flourishes when one is open, honest, and brave. Recovery is not a pitfall, it is a passage. Age is not an anchor, it is a badge of persistence. Movement, both physical and emotional, keeps the spirit alive. With nearly a century of experience, Dick Van Dyke offers a life lesson like no other. If you stumble, rise and dance. If you fear, speak your truth. If you age, stretch. If you laugh, laugh louder. His story reminds us that time does not steal joy, it transforms it, if you let it grow. Which Dick Van Dyke moment touches you most? His wide grin during a Broadway performance? His tearful reflection on struggle? His ukulele burst at 99? Share your memories and reflections below. If his life moved you, let someone else hear it through a like or share. Dick's story is still writing itself, even as he stands at the threshold of a new century. His steps, though lighter, still sound out rhythms of joy, of resilience, of heart. He reminds us all that a life well lived is not measured in years, but in the spirit we keep dancing into them. Here's to a man who still dazzles, still dares, and still dances, and whose legacy, for as long as we listen, guides us to find the courage to shine.